Chemistry Unit Final. Number 1. Which of the following is best classified as a compound? A. Helium, capital H, little e, because it contains only one type of atom. B. Oxygen, capital O, subscript 2, because it contains two of the same type of atom. C. Carbon dioxide, capital C, capital O, subscript 2, because it contains two different types of atoms. D. Manganese, capital M, little n, because it contains a metal and a nonmetal. Number 2. Blood, trail mix, and salad are all examples of A. Atoms, B. Elements, C. Compounds, or D. Mixtures. Number 3. Salt, capital N, little a, capital C, little l, is best classified as a compound, A, an atom, B, an element, C, a mixture, D. Number 4. A scientist recognizes a white powder as sugar due to its white crystals and its sweet taste. However, the scientist noticed that the elements that make up sugar, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, look nothing like sugar, nor are they sweet. What is the best explanation for this? A. Sugar is an element, so its properties are unique. B. Sugar is a heterogeneous mixture, so its appearance is unique. C. Substances in nature change randomly, and it's impossible to predict those changes. Or D. Sugar is a compound. Compounds usually have different properties than the elements of which they are made. Number 5. How many atoms of hydrogen are there in the compound coefficient 2, capital C, subscript 6, capital H, subscript 12, capital O, subscript 6? A. 3, B. 6, C. 12, or D. 24? Number 6. How do you determine the difference between an element and a compound? A. An element is a pure substance that is composed of two or more different types of atoms, and a compound is made of only one type of atom. B. An element is a pure substance made of only one type of atom, and a compound is made of multiple types of atoms and is not a pure substance. C. An element is used to make matter, and a compound is used to make mixtures. D. An element is a pure substance made of one type of atom, and a compound is a pure substance made of multiple types of atoms. Number 7. Which element is a member of the halogen family? A. Helium, capital H, little e. B. Chlorine, capital C, little l. C. Sodium, capital N, little a. D. Oxygen, capital O. Number 8. Which best explains how elements are arranged on the modern periodic table? A. Elements are arranged from fewest protons to most protons. B. Elements are arranged from most protons to fewest protons. C. Elements are arranged from fewest neutrons to most neutrons. Or D. Elements are arranged from most electrons to fewest electrons. Number 9. A chemist is looking for an element that reacts similarly to the element lithium, capital L, little I. Which would be the best choice? A. Gold, capital A, little u. B. Neon, capital N, little e. C. Fluorine, capital F. Or sodium, capital N, little a. Number 10. Which best describes elements that are shiny and good conductors of heat and electricity? A. Halogens, B. Metals, C. Metalloids, D. Nonmetals. Number 11. An unknown sample is malleable and ductile. Where would the sample most likely be found on the periodic table? A. Top, B. Far left, C. Far right. Number 12. Which element belongs in the least reactive group of elements on the periodic table? A. Neon, capital N, little e. B. Silver, capital A, little g. C. Carbon, capital C. D. Potassium, capital K. 13. Which is an example of a chemical reaction? A. Nails rusting, B. Glass melting, C. Sugar dissolving, or D. Water vaporizing. Number 14. Which task in the kitchen is an example of a physical change? A. Frying an egg, B. Baking a cake, C. Melting butter, or D. Toasting bread. Number 15. A science teacher mixes calcium chloride and vinegar in a test tube. He passes the test tube around for his students to feel. The students notice that the test tube is hot. The science teacher asks the students to decide if the mixing of the two chemicals involved a physical or chemical change. He also asks students to justify their answer. Which student gave the correct response? A. Student 1. The change was physical because the temperature change occurred. B. Student 2. The change was chemical because a temperature change occurred. Student 3. The change was physical because the two chemicals mixed. Or D. Student 4. The change was chemical because the two chemicals mixed. Number 16. Chemical X has a mass of 5 grams and chemical Y has a mass of 10 grams. If the two chemicals are mixed in a closed system and a complete chemical reaction takes place, what is the mass of the product? A. 5 grams, B. 10 grams, C. 15 grams, or D. 50 grams. Number 17. What is the total number of oxygen atoms on the reactant side of the equation shown below? A. 2, B. 3, C. 5, or D. 7. Number 18. Which best explains why conservation of mass should be studied in a closed system? A. To prevent the loss of any reactants. B. To prevent the contamination of the products. C. To prevent the release of any gases produced. Or D. To prevent the absorption of heat from the outside. Number 19. Which best describes the chemical reaction applying the law of conservation of mass? A. An equation which uses energy. B. An equation which does not use energy. C. A balanced equation in which the reactants and products are equal. Or D. An unbalanced equation in which the reactants and products are unequal. Number 20. Which chemical reaction supports the law of conservation of mass? A. B. C, or D. Number 21. A balanced chemical equation reflects the idea that the mass of the products, A, is greater than the mass of the reactants, B is less than the mass of the reactants, C equals the mass of the reactants, or D is not related to the mass of the reactants. 22. Which of the following could represent a chemical reaction? Atoms are represented by circles, and molecules are represented by circles that are connected to each other. The different colored circles represent different kinds of atoms. A, B, C, or D. Number 23. Which statement best describes the change to an ice cube as it melts? A. The change is physical because the mass remains the same. B. The change is physical because the substance remains the same. C. The change is chemical because water has a different pH than ice. Or D. The change is chemical because the ice has a lower density than water. This concludes chemistry final test. Good luck.